Hello everyone, my name is Emilio Colón and I am a cellist and an associate professor at the Indiana University Jacobs School of Music. I'm so happy to be talking to you today about the cello, the love of my life. And I want to share with you how I got started with the cello. As a child, around age 5 or so, I started with the piano, and soon thereafter my sister decided that she wanted to play the violin. And I am sitting outside of the children's program at the conservatory, sitting with my mother in the car, and she starts asking me about homework and nagging, and suddenly it just dawned on me, wow, I have to do this 3 times a week. And exactly at that moment, somebody comes out the door with a big instrument, and I said, Mom, I want to play that instrument. She looks at me and is like, you don't even know what that is. I said, yes, but this is what I want to do. And, you know, it was such a momentous idea, but it just became the greatest thing that I ever did in my life, because just out of this whim, I got the love of playing an instrument that it is an indescribable experience. And I am so happy that all of you have chosen to play the cello. And now we're going to show you how to take the cello out of a soft case. Carefully grab the cello from the floor or rack, wherever it may be laying, and put it gently on the floor. Now, some cases may have 1 or 2 zippers. Just locate where they are and gently hold it with one hand while you unzip the instrument. Since this one has 2, I'll take my right hand and put it on the neck of the instrument and unzip the other side of the zipper. Now, I will sort of peel off the case and very carefully take the cello out of the case. Set the case to the side and carefully hold it with 2 hands. And then carefully put it onto the floor. Now, some of you may have a hard shell case, and I will show you how to open that one as well. One of the tricks of opening a hard shell case is finding all of the buckles. So go ahead and look for them and open each one of them carefully. And this last one always gives me trouble in finding it. I tend to forget it, but usually you will find out that if you don't open it, the case won't open it. So now carefully open the case, unbuckle the strap, and very carefully take the instrument out and hold it again with 2 hands. And now I would like to show you how to take out the bow of the hard shell case. Some cases have a little snap. This one has actually Velcro, and you just peel off the Velcro and then carefully take the bow out of the case. Now, before you play, you must always tighten the hair. And as such, for me, it's very important that you put your left hand right over the frog, and then you start tightening the adjuster button or screw. And what you do is, as you look at it, you see that the hair, it's actually just getting a little bit tighter as we go. Just turn it a few times. And then what I like to do is, just as a reference point, I just put my nail near the wood, and that's an approximate distance of how much to tighten the hair. Very important, do not put any part of your fingers or the hand on the hair, as otherwise you get oil all over the hair and the rosin will not stick to the hair. Now, after you're done playing, before you put the bow away, you want to wipe the wood to make sure it's clean and remove of any extra debris of rosin. And then hold the bow with the left hand, put it over the frog again, and put your right hand on the adjuster button so that you can loosen the hair. And just make sure that you go all the way so that the hair is loose yet not all flappy all over the stick. Now, you grab the bow with one hand so that you have a free hand to pull back on the Velcro and gently place it back in the case and put the Velcro back on. Some of you may have a soft shell case, and as such, the bow would be pulled out of a little pocket. And this pocket usually has a little button, like if it was a shirt, where you're going to just pull off the little button, and you take the bow out and just gently slide it out of the pocket, and then follow the instructions as I explained on the hard shell version. I would like to show you how to rosin a bow. I always grab the rosin first and very carefully unpack it. Some may come in a little pouch, this one comes in a little case. Put the case away and very carefully hold the rosin. This is a natural product that comes out of a tree, basically is the sap of the tree. And if it falls, it will shatter into a million pieces. So just be very careful with it. Then pick up your bow and making sure your hand does not touch the hair. Otherwise you'll get oil that will not allow the rosin to stick. And then carefully place the bow on the cake of the rosin and just swipe it across from the frog to the tip. Just 3 or 4 times should do the trick, making sure that you have a nice firm contact from hair to the rosin. Then gently put the bow down and pack the rosin away to make sure that it's safely out of any harm. And now I'm going to show you how to put the instrument back into a hard shell case. Now, before we do so, it is very important that we always clean the instrument before putting it away. So, grab a little soft cloth, something gentle, and just wipe the face of the instrument, making sure that you've just removed any particles of dust that were visible after you played from the rosin. Then I always put my cloth right here, but you can put it anywhere inside the case. Then, holding the instrument gently, put it back into the case, looking for all of the little loops and buckles, and lock them back together so that the instrument is safely in the case. Then shut the lid, look for all of your little locks, shut them all, and now you have a perfectly closed and safe instrument. Now I'm going to show you how to put back a cello into the soft case, as some of you may have that instead. Grab the instrument, always very sturdily, making sure you have a good hold of it. Grab the case and put it in front of you. Then fold back the open case so you have the space to just roll the instrument right into the case, carefully making sure that you're not scraping the instrument against the floor or the zippers or anything like that, as they scratch easily. Then fold the flap back up, look for the zipper, and zip it back up, both sides, and then carefully lift the instrument up and either lay it on its side or put it back in a safe place or rack. I would like to show you how to properly place the instrument on your body and how to take out the end pin and adjust it to the proper height. My view on it is that your teacher should help you in this matter. And the first part is to determine how to place the scroll, the scroll of the cello, the head, near your head. You do not want the pegs sticking into your head. You don't want them right behind your head like this, and you don't want them in front of your head. So they have to lie somewhere comfortably near your head. Then you will see this button right here, and this piece of the instrument should be lying somewhere near the middle of your chest. This is the beginning of adjusting the angles of the instrument on your body. This is the upper part being set against your body. Now, the next part is how will the instrument lay against your legs? Notice that if the instrument is way too high on your legs, then you have no control and it's just moving all over the place on your body. But if it's too far in, then this will create big problems with your bow later. So you want to set it so that the lower bouts of the instrument, near the back of the instrument, will be touching by both knees. And this will give you then the length at which you have to set the end pin. At this point, your teacher would take out the end pin by unscrewing this little screw right here, a little bit just, and then taking out the end pin. Now, you tighten the screw again, and you would, because you do not want to ruin floors, you want to have some kind of a stopper from the end pin. And I have two choices. I like this little rubber stopper. This one is called a black hole. Put it on the floor, and if it's clean, it sticks very nicely to wood and concrete surfaces quite well. And this holds the instrument in a great position. Now, you may wonder, but okay, my teacher did that for me. Now what? How do I remember how this was? Well, some end pins actually have some little holes on them, and you can count the holes. You can take your hand and try to memorize the length of how long it took. In my case, it takes about 2 hands to memorize it. Or you may get your teacher to just mark with a permanent marker, a little mark on the end pin itself, so that when you take it out, you look at your mark and that's where you stop. In the case of some of you, this may create a problem because it may lead you to put the cello in different places and so on. So there's another stopper which I think is quite fantastic. This is called a cello strap. And this one your teacher would adjust to your proper height right here. And then you put it on the leg, on the front leg of the chair. My preference is on the right, but it doesn't really matter whether it's the right or the left. Put it on the leg, and this will safely hold your cello at the exact same position every time. I would like to talk about how to sit down with your instrument and feel comfortable about it. However, because you're going to spend so much time sitting with your instrument, I always find it best to talk about it from the standpoint of let's stand first and understand how our body works in terms of weight and balance. So what I would like you to do is just rock your body side to side so you can feel how your weight is being distributed to either side of your body, because this is something that you must be able to do while you're sitting with the instrument. You understand where your weight is, and now I would like to try and sit. As we sit, we make sure that the chair is right behind you, because you're going to sit right in the front part of the chair. We're not going to really go back like this. That's just a little bit too comfy and not really conducive to being focused on what we're doing. So we sit in the front, and now we have to look and see how we're sitting so that we can actually stand right back up with the least amount of effort. As such, if your legs are over here, I dare you to try and get up from this position. Or if they're way back here, you can get up, but trust me, your back is going to be in trouble very soon. So you find where the best position is to put your legs in one in front, one behind, either this or that. They can be both in the same, but I just prefer, for balance purposes, one be in front of the other. And from there, with too much effort, you can just get up. Now, with both hands, reach for your instrument and place it on your black hole, rock stop, cello strap, anything that you're using to not ruin the floors and to make sure that it's carefully set and that it's not going to slip away from you. Now, you look at your legs, and the cello is placed according to what we talked about. The lower bouts are near the knees, and your legs are again in the position so that you can just easily stand up from there. Remember, they're back here, you're slouching, and that's just not a very good position. They're way over here, again, just creating too many problems. So make sure that your legs are exactly in a position where you can feel the balance of your body rotating to either side. And then at this point, you will feel like your body, the instrument is part of your body to the extent that you can actually just put your arms around it and feel like you're just giving the cello a hug. I would like to talk to you about the concept of plucking the strings, which we refer to as pizzicato. I take my thumb and I place it against the lower part of the fingerboard. Then I take my first finger and I gently place it on top of the string and carefully just pull the string over to the side. This is your C string. Then I take my arm and bring it just a little bit closer. Put the first finger on top of your next string, which is your G string, and just pull gently to the side. That's your G string. Bring the arm just a little bit closer to the D string. If you don't, your finger is just too far away from the actual string. So now I put it gently over the string and pull to the side. This is your D string. And finally, your top string, which is your A string. Now I would like to show you your open strings as played with the bow, to which we refer to as the arco. This is your C string. Next comes your G string, followed by your D string, and last, your A string. I would like to show you the left hand and first tell you about what we call the numbers of the fingers on the cello, which are just a little bit different from the piano. As I mentioned, I started with the piano. So this is the first finger, this is your second finger, this is your third finger, and this is your fourth finger. Finally, we refer to this as our thumb, and you will see it in fingerings later in the cello. Now, I would like to show you how we place it on the instrument. First, you bring the hand over. You make sure that your fingers are somewhat on the round, as if you were holding onto a tennis ball or something. And you bring it over and place it on the strings. See that your fingers are round. And then you feel that your arm is sort of hanging from the neck of the instrument. You do not want your arm tucked into your body like this, and you don't want your arm up here either. You just want to feel that the angle is such so that it really lets you feel as you're really hanging from the fingerboard. Now I'll show you on the side view, and you feel that the string is kind of like a spring, like a shock absorber. Okay, so you're just hanging from them. Now you see the thumb is not touching yet. I just bring it closely and it's holding right approximately by my second finger. And it just touches here. It's not really squeezing or anything like that. You don't want to grab onto the instrument. You're just putting your fingers down and just touching the instrument.